Hi, everyone. I'm Connie Sabo-Schmucker. I'm Advocacy Director at Bicycle Garage Indy, and welcome to Bicycling Lunch and Learn. Got Tess Woods from Bike Indianapolis is going to talk about community bike rides and finding people and places to ride. And this Bicycle Lunch and Learn is actually coordinated by the Cycle Commuter Task Force, which is comprised of Bicycle Garage Indy, Bike Indianapolis, Commuter Connect, and Central Indiana Bicycling Association. So welcome to this month's, we do this on a monthly basis, the second Thursday of the month, February through October. So our next couple of months, we've got topics are in June is family bike rides on June 8th. Tips for successful family bike rides. So if you're wanting to ride with kids, that would be a great opportunity to find out more about that. July will be about bicycle organizations and events, and August will be about cultural trail and greenways updates. So we hope you can join us on those. If you can't, you can always go to the website where you registered, and we post the links to these programs, so you can look at all the different archives if there's ones that you missed or ones that you want to see again. We actually, I think it was February's was about yoga, and Allie Stanky from Commuter Connect led us through a short yoga thing, and it was something that I had meant to go back and look at and redo and actually follow along again. I haven't yet, but one of these days I will. So it's there for people if you want to get additional information as well. So I will turn this over to Tess, and she's going to talk all about community bike rides.
Thanks, Connie. So hello, I'm Tess. I am, as Connie said, with Bike Indianapolis. I'm the project coordinator here. And thank you for asking me to come and talk about community bike rides. So I am new, well, relatively new to Bike Indianapolis. I was started as the project coordinator in September. I've been a cyclist for, I would say, on and off all my life, but kind of new to the Indianapolis bike scene. So this was kind of a fun project for me when Connie asked me to do this, because I don't know that I'm completely aware of all the community bike rides that we have. So it was fun to look around and see what's available and learn about what kind of rides are out there. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. And of course, at any time, if you have questions or you have comments or about rides that I don't have listed here, please pipe up and let me know, or put it in the chat, and Connie will wave at me and let me know to, she can read it to me and I can answer if I can. So let's go ahead and get started. So right now, with what I was looking and seeing what was available, these are the current rides that I found when I was doing my research. Some I already knew about, but a lot of these I didn't. So obviously one of the big ones is CIBA, which is our Central Indiana Biking Association. And you pop on their website and get on their calendar, and you will see rides pretty much every day from all different areas. And it's really, to me, is really impressive. And I've known about CIBA for a long time. I've ridden a couple rides with them, and they have different levels of rides that they offer. But I would venture to guess that at whatever town you're in, they're going to be offering something, at least in this centralized Indianapolis area. So that's always a good start if you're new to riding and you want to look for a group of people to ride with. The other thing is bike shops. Gray Goat Training does rides, and they have different shops around Indianapolis. And I put on here, as you can see, Tuesdays and Thursdays they offer rides at the North Shop, and then you see also there's some rides at the South Shop in Franklin as well. So bike shops are a great place to look. If you're looking for a ride in your city or your community, go to your local bike shop and check in with them and see if they're offering something, or if not, I would venture to guess they will know about community rides that are available in your area. And then there's bike party, which when I started with Bike Indianapolis, I didn't know anything about it, but was told about it. I actually haven't been to one, but I have heard that there literally are a party so, on your bike. So it's supposed to be a lot of fun. And the next one's tomorrow, I think. Is that right, Connie? I feel like it's on the 12th. So you can find out about their parties, the bike party on Facebook. That's where they post their rides, but it's the second Friday of every month, and they start at City Market, I'm pretty sure, and then they have different fun routes that they go on. So, and it's very well attended. So it is a big group, so that's something to consider depending on what your comfort level is. If you're a new rider, maybe go with a friend, or make sure that you're good with riding with a group of people. So that also kind of leads me to a different direction for a minute. When you're looking for a ride, you might want to think about what your expectations and needs are as a rider. Do you want to ride more of a community style where it's a kind of a slow roll and you're just taking your time, you want to stop and have a drink somewhere? Or are you looking for a training ride where you're riding, 18, 20, you want to get a hard workout in? Because there's different kinds of rides depending on what your needs or what your wants are. So that's something to consider when you start looking for rides, and that helps you pick which rides would be good for you. And then speaking of that, the last one on this slide is the Momentum Divas, which is a program. As you can see here, it's April through September, and it's Thursdays nights geared toward women, and it's a program. So they do rides every Thursday, but they also have programming in this event as well. So they talk about bike safety, they talk about bike skills and bike maintenance and all kinds of stuff. Anything you would need to know about cycling, that's all part of this program. And there is a cost involved with this. So that's another thing to consider, is there are organizations that offer programs, but a lot of those have a cost to them. And that's okay if you're willing to do that and you want to do that. It's sometimes worth the cost because you're getting a lot out of it. There's a lot of benefit of being a part of a program. But then these other rides could be free. So you just have to check into that and see how they have it set up. A lot of the training rides through the bike shops are free. So any questions?
I was going to mention, when you're talking about bike shops, Bicycle Garage Indy also has a Friday morning ride. That's a pretty fast-paced ride. Starts at 7 in the morning, and I think they get back to the store. It leaves from our north store. So that's an option. Prior to the pandemic, I led a ride on Thursday nights from our store. Haven't returned to that yet, but there are different, and SEVA has all sorts of different types of rides as well.
Yeah.
So, but
And
we
so
can use that in a little bit.
no drop rides, like you might want it, like if you're worried about getting left and not knowing the route or whatever, you want to look for a ride that's a no drop ride, so that you're going to they're going to stay with you. They're not going to leave you in the dust.
Yeah,
I'm actually a really slow rider, so go ahead, Connie.
Yeah, they have what are called well, they have dinner rides and breakfast rides sometimes that just go out to a place for dinner and back, and grand touring rides as well. So there's and sometimes every so often they'll have a camping ride. So there's all sorts of different options.
Yeah. And it's fun because you can try different things. So SEVA was a good place to start, and they have a big calendar. So I definitely would check them out. So this next slide is also about support group rides. Bikes United Indy is a group that rides from kind of Boy Scout Road, Fort Bend area. They're on Facebook, and they're a group, so you could join them on Facebook so to learn about what rides they offer. Freewheelin' is a great group. They have a no drop mountain biking ride, which is for kids all the way up to adults, and they have the dates here. And they also have a beginner level family ride on Saturdays at 10. So lots of different choices. Also, Black Girls Do Bike, which is also a local chapter that we have here in Indy, and you can join that on Facebook. And then finally, the Westfield Cycle Sport, which, I just literally just called, or I sent an email to them and said, hey, are you offering any rides? And they immediately responded back that they do Wednesdays at 6. And those they have, and then they I think at Grand Junction afterwards and have a drink. So I just literally just jumped on Facebook to find this, and to see what was around. I just did a little bit of research, and then I just sent out some emails to different bike shops to see. So it was really easy to find all that anyone can do to see what's out there. The other thing that I wanted to highlight was neighborhood rides, which Bike Indianapolis is one of our programs, is to help individuals start their own neighborhood ride. So right now there's 2 that we are kind of in part of our programming, and that's one is the Near East Side Community Ride, which is led by John Franklin Hay, and that's every Wednesday at 6:30. And if you can see the graphic, he actually is on Twitter, so I'm actually not on Twitter. So, but if you wanted to keep updated on what his ride was doing, that's where you'd find that information. And then the Irvington Neighborhood Ride is by Trent Taylor, and that's every second and fourth Saturday. And so with neighborhood rides, they're really, anyone can start a neighborhood ride. And I love the idea of neighborhood rides because they're one that you can learn, you get to meet your neighbors, and it's a great way to get together and be social and instill that sense of community in your neighborhood. And so that is one thing we try to encourage through Bike Indianapolis is, if you don't have a ride, a weekly ride, and you want one, then you can start one. And we actually can help you do that. We will meet with you. We'll talk about kind of just some skills and tips to get it started. Use the Nextdoor app or a neighborhood newsletter, and just pick a night and say, I can do this every Wednesday at 6, and put it, and then just find a place, a location in your neighborhood that you could start. And we could help set up a route for you, or find a fun, safe route through your neighborhood. So you don't have to do it alone. We're available to help you set it up if you want. And then we make recommendations, like we suggest doing it weekly, because if you have a weekly ride, you're more likely to get people to come, and they designate that night for that event, and you'll get better participation. So things like that we can help you with. So the other one, there's a ride on the east side that's coming up, and that's another neighborhood ride in the Gray Succeeda Bosar Brown neighborhood. So neighborhood rides are fun because they're your community. That's where you're from. You can walk out your door and get on your bike, which is always nice. It's kind of a pain sometimes to have to put your bike in your car and drive somewhere to ride your bike. It's sometimes I'm always like, is it worth it to do that? But if you can step out of your garage and jump on your bike and go out, you're more likely to do it. So anybody have any questions about the neighborhood rides or the programming that we offer?
The other benefit that I see with neighborhood rides, besides just meeting some of your neighbors, is you might find some unique things about your neighborhood that you didn't know about, that you see by bike, as well as great places to ride really close to home. So you don't necessarily then have to get into your car to go for a bike ride. You can actually leave from your home and do the rides, either with other people or by yourself, just in your neighborhood. So it's a great way to explore your neighborhood as well.
Absolutely. And then you realize how easy it is to get to places because you're on your bike already. Just yesterday, my son and I rode to the orthodontist. He had an orthodontist appointment, which was around the corner from us. And I was like, I would normally just pop in my car, but I was like, let's ride over there. It's a beautiful day. And now I know he's more likely to do that again on his own, and I don't have to drive him. So that's free my time. So it's those kind of things, learning your routes in your neighborhood, you're more likely to, and it's easier to pop on your bike and get to those places than deal with your car. So, all right, we'll keep going. So I'm going to talk about, kind of like I said earlier, is, I talked about what rides are that I found that are available, but how do you find group rides? So I mentioned SEBA. obviously a great place you can pop on their calendar, like I said. But also Bicycle Indiana has a statewide listing of bike rides. Our organization, Bike Indianapolis, has an event calendar. You can click on it and it shows you what rides and events are happening, and anyone can add to that. So if you go to our website, bikeindianapolis.org, and you go to events, there is a link that you can click on to submit an event. So if you know of an event that's happening, you can submit it to our calendar. And we always encourage people to do that. Hoots is a tandem group that has rides throughout the year. If you're a mountain biker, the Hoosier Mountain Biking Association is a great place to look for events and riding opportunities. I just happened to find Bike Rides in Indiana. It's a link and it has all these ride events in Indiana and surrounding states, which I thought was really fun. It was a really long listing by month of all kinds of events. And I didn't even know about that. So I stuck that on there. And once again, bike shops, ask them if they're offering a ride or if they know where there are some. And I found lots of groups and pages on Facebook. So join those groups. I found I live in Fishers and I didn't even know there was a Fishers area cycling. And I've been there for a couple of years. And then there's a Bike Indy Facebook group as well. So you never know in your own area what kind of groups are on social media. And so if you like those cycling businesses, organization, and trail associations, join their groups and their pages, and then those updates and rides will come up on your feed if you're a scroller. So that's a great way to keep up to date on what's going on and what kind of events and rides are happening. I would also sign up for organization and bike shop newsletters. Connie's newsletter is amazing. She has all kinds of information, the BGI newsletter, about what's going on, what's happening in the cycling world in Indianapolis. So if you get onto their newsletters, you'll get those monthly about what's happening. So BGI, Bike Indianapolis has a newsletter. We have a newsletter. So all these organizations, and then even the trails have their own associations, and they a lot of times will have newsletters as well. So you can like them on Facebook, and you can get on their newsletter subscription list, and they'll send you information about what's happening on the trails. And even local governments. I know Indianapolis has their own newsletters that go out. Carmel they're almost overly communicative. They have sent out notices all the time about what's going on in their town. So wherever you live, check with your local government about what kind of newsletters they send out, and get on those to find out what's going on. Any questions? I feel like I saw maybe a chat. Anything, Connie?
No, I just put a link in the chat for people if they want to sign up for the e-newsletter that
Awesome.
Bicycle Garage Indy has.
Great. Thank you. So I also just, riding and finding community rides is great because you want to get out and do this on a regular basis, but it's always fun to ride leading up to an event, like getting ready for an event or participating in a bigger event. And so these are some of the events that are coming up. It's definitely not all inclusive. There's plenty more, but these are some of the things that I found real quickly when I was doing my search. Obviously, Bike to Work Day and Bike to the 500 are something that Bike Indianapolis is providing or is part of organizing. So I wanted to highlight those. Bike to Work Day is next Friday. So the purpose of it is to encourage people to commute to work on their bike. And so we are providing bike trains that anyone can participate in from outlying areas of Indianapolis to ride down to downtown Indianapolis and Luger Plaza, where we will have a short program, some speakers, and we'll have a small light breakfast, snacks, and coffee. That's from 7 to 9 a.m. on May 19th at Luger Plaza. So we encourage people to participate in that and come on down. We'll have people tabling there from all different kinds of organizations. So you could learn more about other events and ride opportunities there as well. Then there's the Bike to the 500, which I have ridden my Bike to the 500, but not through Bike Indianapolis. it's a really fun way to get to the and you're just riding by all these other cars, you're just waving, here I go. And it's just a big party on your bike, heading the bike to the 500. So that we meet up at the amp, and then the ride starts from there and rides to the track where we have valet bike parking a bit for those who have signed up for that. So your bike is watched and monitored while you're at the race. So that's a really fun event. And then I put a lot of other events here as well. That are available to participate in throughout the summer and early fall. And they're all a lot of fun. I've done some of these rides, and it's fun to get in and to be a part of a big bike event. If you've never done one, I encourage you to do that. Connie, did you have anything to add with this?
No, it's a great list, and like you said, there are, you know, a whole plethora of different bike events that you can, you know, try and do throughout the year. I did want to mention that Black Girls Do Bike that you had earlier, they have rides nearly every day of the week, not just on Mondays. They've got Mondays, Tuesdays, Saturdays, Sundays, and Bikes United. The last I saw, they were actually going to start a Saturday ride as well. So they've got Saturday and Sunday. So if you join their Facebook pages, you'll get all the information about their different rides and the rides that they've got coming up. Weather is always, it's always good to double check to make sure if the weather is iffy, whether the ride is going to go on, especially a community ride. Those are more likely to get canceled if it's thunderstorming or raining or things like that. So you might want to check before you head out, and because you know you don't want to get there and be the only one there because it got canceled and you didn't see the notice. So a lot of them will post on their Facebook pages that it's been, whether it's been canceled or if they're still going to go. And then I just wanted to mention a little bit about Bicycle Garage Indy has a bunch of rides on RideSpot. So it's ridespot.org. You can find all sorts of different routes. So if you're looking for rides or routes near where you live, so you don't have to go too far, or if you want to explore other areas, there are many different routes. And SEBA also has a whole, if you're a SEBA member, you get with your membership a Ride with GPS membership, and you get access to hundreds of their routes that you can follow along if you have a GPS enabled device or an app on your phone, or you can just print, old school like me, and print off the map and cue sheet and follow it. So you can find other areas to ride and take some friends with you and have your own group rides.
Absolutely. That's really fun. Thank you, Connie. So the other thing I want to mention is if you're a new rider and you're wanting to get into more regular routine and riding, maybe you're uncomfortable or you're not familiar with the area that you're in and maybe safe routes, I want to highlight the Bike Buddy program, which is a program that we partner with Commuter Connect. And what we do is all it is you get paired with an experienced cyclist, and that cyclist can help you feel more comfortable on your bike. They can talk about help you find safe and efficient bike routes. They can comfortable and feel more confident on your bike on how you move through traffic and the signals and things that you should do. They can, if you want to commute to work, they can help you set up a route that you could use to get to work and talk about bike parking and how to lock your bike. And if you want to bring stuff to work, the best way to bring your laptop or your stuff like that you need for bike commuting. So Bike Indianapolis has the experienced cyclists. We train those cyclists, and then Commuter Connect is the person that they're the group that finds the new riders, and then we pair them together, and we try to do the pairing geographically. So pair you with, it's a neighbor, it's someone that's from your initial immediate community that is familiar with the area. And we usually have them ride with you at least 3 to 4 weeks in a row, at least one ride. And if that's not to say you can't do more. And we have had other bike buddies that they continue to ride even after those 4 rides together. So I encourage anyone who maybe is uncomfortable or new to the area, look into this program and sign up. That's what it's there for. It's free. And it's a great way to meet a cyclist that is already familiar with the area and knows connections and can get you connected and give you information about those cycling scene in Indianapolis. And there is a link down here for you that you can get connected and sign up. And that's all I have, unless anyone has any other questions or comments or even ideas that I did not bring up or rides that you're aware of that I was not aware of.
We did get a comment that Pam is a part of the Riverside Riders, and she's starting to put together community rides, and they're a social riding group for healthier souls. And she's starting a program soon. So that's great. And I'm sure, if you would like some assistance, Bike Indianapolis would be more than happy to help you out with that.
Absolutely. And if you want people to know about it, let us know. We're happy to mention it on our social media, and you can also put it on our calendar so that it's listed on our events so that people know about it. So please do that. All right. Well, that's all I have. Thank you very much for joining us, and get out there on your bike. Enjoy.
It's National Bike Month.
Yeah.
So
and come
get
out
and ride. Yeah, get out and ride.
Yeah. Come join us at Bike to Work Day. Come down and say hello. And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for coming. And if you want to learn more, I encourage you to go to bikeindianapolis.org website, or you'll be able to watch this again if you want, and get some of the links, because those went by pretty quick. So I'll actually ask Tess if you can send me the slides, and I can link those to the YouTube so then people could download it if they want.
Absolutely.
And we'll have that available as well as a resource, both on the website and on the YouTube description. So thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you next month.
Great. Thank
Keep
you.
bicycling.